The Rise and Fall of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, Chapter 1. The Birth of a Dual Monarchy. Austro-Hungarian Empire was born out of the ashes of the Austrian Empire, a multi-ethnic conglomerate that had been struggling to maintain unity in the face of nationalistic movements. In 1867, after a series of defeats and internal unrest, the Habsburg monarchy, led by Emperor Franz Joseph I, agreed to the Austro-Hungarian Compromise. This agreement created a dual monarchy, where the Austrian Empire and the Kingdom of Hungary were governed by separate parliaments, but shared a common monarch and military. This unique political structure, meant to balance the demands of different ethnic groups, was the foundation for the empire's 51 years of existence. However, the compromise left many nationalities, including Slavs, Italians, and Romanians, dissatisfied with their political status. Chapter 2. Industrialization and Prosperity. Late 19th century marked a period of rapid industrialization for the Austro-Hungarian Empire. The empire became a major player in European economic affairs, with burgeoning industries, expanding railroads, and a growing urban population. Vienna, the capital, became a cultural hub, home to classical music, art, and intellectual thought. The empire's prosperity was underpinned by its diverse economy, which included agriculture, mining, and manufacturing. However, this period of growth was not without its challenges. The empire struggled to integrate its various ethnic groups, with many seeking greater autonomy or independence. These tensions would continue to simmer beneath the surface, threatening the empire's cohesion. Chapter 3. The Age of Nationalism, which had swept through Europe during the 19th century, began to pose a serious threat to the stability of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Ethnic groups such as Czechs, Slovaks, Croats, and Serbs pushed for greater political rights and independence from the Habsburg monarchy. The empire's leaders, particularly Emperor Franz Joseph, attempted to quell these demands through reforms, but the internal divisions continued to widen. The empire's Slavic populations, in particular, were inspired by the Pan-Slavic movement, which called for unity among Slavic peoples across Europe. This created a delicate and often fragile political landscape, where the various ethnic groups jostled for influence and power. Chapter 4. The Balkans and Rising Tensions. The Balkans became the focal point of tensions between the Austro-Hungarian Empire and the Russian Empire. Both empires vied for influence over the various Slavic nations in the region, particularly Serbia. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand in Sarajevo in 1914, carried out by a Bosnian Serb nationalist, was the spark that ignited World War I. Austria-Hungary, with the backing of Germany, declared war on Serbia, setting off a chain reaction that would engulf Europe in one of the deadliest conflicts in history. The empire's decision to confront Serbia was driven by a desire to maintain its dominance in the Balkans and prevent the spread of nationalism that could threaten its existence. Chapter 5. The Great War and Military Strength. First World War proved disastrous for the Austro-Hungarian Empire. The empire's military, which was already strained by its multi-ethnic composition and differing national loyalties, was further tested by the demands of a global conflict. The empire's army faced a series of defeats on multiple fronts, including the Eastern Front against Russia and the Italian Front against Italy. The Central Powers, including Germany, were unable to deliver a decisive victory. As the war dragged on, internal dissent grew, with ethnic groups within the empire demanding greater autonomy or independence. The war's toll on the economy and the morale of the people was immense, and it became clear that the empire could not continue to sustain the war effort. Chapter 6. The Fall of the Dual Monarchy. By the end of 1918, the Austro-Hungarian Empire had crumbled. The empire's defeat in World War I, combined with the growing nationalist movements, led to the collapse of the monarchy. On November 11, 1918, Emperor Charles I abdicated, and the empire dissolved. The territories that once made up the empire were divided into several new nation-states, including Czechoslovakia, Yugoslavia, and Hungary. The end of the Austro-Hungarian Empire marked the end of centuries of Habsburg rule in Central Europe, and the beginning of a new, fragmented political order in the region. Chapter 7. The Legacy of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Now the Austro-Hungarian Empire is no more. Its legacy can still be seen in the modern states that emerged from its former territories. The empire's cultural achievements, particularly in music, art, and architecture, continue to shape the region's identity. The divisions that the empire failed to resolve, particularly along ethnic lines, still resonate today, with nationalist movements and regional conflicts continuing to shape the politics of Central and Eastern Europe. The dual monarchy, though short-lived, was a fascinating experiment in governance, one that sought to balance competing national identities within a single empire. Chapter 8. A divided Europe. End of the Austro-Hungarian Empire had profound consequences for Europe. The Treaty of Trianon in 1920 formally dismantled the empire, with Hungary losing more than two-thirds of its territory. This territorial loss fueled nationalist sentiment in the newly formed states, and in some cases led to territorial disputes that would persist for decades. The fall of the empire also contributed to the instability that led to World War II, as the power vacuum left by the Austro-Hungarian collapse allowed for the rise of extremist movements, particularly in Germany and Italy. The shifting borders of Central and Eastern Europe, as well as the ongoing ethnic tensions, would shape the region's future for much of the 20th century. Chapter 9. Cultural flourishing despite its internal conflicts. The Austro-Hungarian Empire was a center of cultural and intellectual activity during its peak. Vienna was home to some of the most famous composers, including Mozart, Beethoven, and Strauss, whose music continues to influence Western classical traditions. The empire also saw advancements in science, with figures such as Sigmund Freud and Ludwig van Beethoven making lasting contributions to their fields. The empire's cities were a melting pot of various cultures, and its arts, literature, and intellectual movements reflected the diversity of the peoples within it. This cultural flourishing remains one of the empire's most enduring legacies. Chapter 10. Remembering the Empire Tade. The Austro-Hungarian Empire is often remembered as a powerful yet fragmented entity that struggled to balance the demands of its diverse population. Its rise and fall offer important lessons about the challenges of managing multi-ethnic empires, particularly in times of nationalistic upheaval. The empire's cultural and intellectual contributions continue to resonate, particularly in the fields of music, philosophy, and science. While the empire itself no longer exists, its history remains a critical part of Central European identity. If you've made it this far, why not like the video and also subscribe to my channel for more? It helps me out a lot, and I would appreciate you so much for doing so. Until next time.